The Nosey Haters, a spry written and animated by Sharri Plaza, in the quaint, cobblestoned village of Whisperford, where the ivy-clad walls whispered secrets of old, lived a soul named Alara. She was a woman of gentle demeanor, whose eyes sparkled with the wisdom of the ages, yet carried within them a flicker of guarded caution. Alara was known for her kindness, her garden that bloomed in defiance of the seasons, and for her uncanny ability to weave tapestries that seemed to tell stories of their own. Whisperford, for all its charm, was not devoid of its share of intrigue. Among its inhabitants was a curious sort, individuals who thrived not on the fruits of labor, but on the nectar of gossip. These were the nosy ones, not out of mere curiosity, but driven by an insatiable hunger for the downfall of others, cloaked in the guise of friendship. The nosy ones were led by a seemingly benign figure, Mirabelle, whose smile was as sweet as the honey she claimed to adore. Mirabelle, with her golden curls and melodic laugh, was the heart of Whisperford's social circles. Yet, beneath her charming exterior lay a labyrinth of envy and treachery. She collected stories not as a historian might, but as a spider gathers flies into its web. Alara, the unwitting target of Mirabelle's affections, found herself enmeshed in this web one serene afternoon. As she tended to her garden, Mirabelle appeared, her arrival as soft as a whisper. "Alara, your garden is a marvel. Surely it must be tended by magic," Mirabelle exclaimed, her eyes gleaming with more than mere admiration. Alara, ever gracious, replied, "It's just love, Mirabelle. Love and a lot of time." But as she spoke, a shadow crossed her heart, a premonition of sorts. Mirabelle, with her honeyed words, began visiting more often, each visit punctuated with questions, not about gardening, but about Alara's life, her past, her dreams, and her fears. Unbeknownst to Alara, Mirabelle's visits were not solitary excursions. She was but a scout in a battalion of nosy spies, each with their own way of extracting secrets. There was Cedric, the baker, whose bread was as light as his steps towards gossip, and Lavinia, the seamstress, whose needles were as sharp as her ears for tales. These nosy ones convened in the shadows of Whisperford's oldest tavern, where the walls, thick with history, absorbed their whispers. Here they pieced together the mosaic of Alara's life, each fragment a piece of gossip more tantalizing than the last. They spoke of her mysterious past, of a lost love, of a hidden fortune, and of her solitary nights spent under the stars, conversing with the moon. Yet Alara, wise beyond measure, began to sense the undercurrents of deceit. Her tapestry, currently depicting a scene of tranquility, seemed to darken with threads of suspicion. One evening, as the moon cast its silvery glow over Whisperford, Alara decided to confront the whispers with silence. She ceased her tales, her smiles became more guarded, and her garden gates, once open, now closed at dusk. The nosy ones, starved of their feast, grew restless. Mirabelle's charm began to wane, her laughter less frequent, her eyes searching for new prey. But Alara, now fortified, was no longer the unwitting lamb. She turned her art towards a different canvas, weaving tales not of her life, but of theirs, portraying their envy, their deceit, and their hollow hearts. The tapestries, hung in the town square, were a spectacle. Each figure, though anonymous, was unmistakable to the villagers. Mirabelle, Cedric, and Lavinia saw themselves reflected not in glory, but in the mirror of their own machinations. The village, once divided by whispers, now united in a silent acknowledgment of the truth Alara had woven. Thus Alara, the weaver of truths, became the guardian of Whisperford's collective soul, teaching a lesson etched not in words, but in the intricate dance of threads. Beware the nosy ones, for their interest is often not in your light, but in the shadows it casts, seeking not to warm themselves by your fire, but to extinguish it for the thrill of watching it die. This has been a Sharri Plaza presentation to you in the voice of Elvis Presley. Thank you for watching, and you have a superb day. My friends,